and Rasmeet. So we stage to you guys. Binny, you would take the stage and
Yes,
engage
I
the
will take
audience.
the stage.
Yeah.
I think I could see people are joining in. I would encourage the people to be on webcam, and it is completely okay wherever you are. I think to stay on webcam is more important to uh, keep the vibration on and positive energy on when the session is there, and to make the session more exciting by engaging in the same. So yeah, it is good that if all of us can be on webcam.
Okay.
Okay, we still have another 3 minutes before we start. So yeah, we will wait for another 3 minutes.
And you suggest to everybody to switch on their cameras. Many people
Yeah.
just can
Yes,
come,
yes. Request everybody to be on the webcam. Some are already here. Maybe others are doing little bit makeup. You still have 3 more minutes to do the final touch.
Women's prerogative.
So this doesn't matter whether you are joining from your iPhone, from your phone, or from anywhere. So it is completely okay. If you can manage, please try to be on the camera. Thank you, Reshmi, Poonam, Neetal. Thank you, Siddhanshu. Thanks, Neetal.
You're calling everybody out one by one. Little bit of pressure.
Don't get pressurized, guys. You're good. You're looking amazingly good. So don't get stressed out. Thank you, Deepti. Looking
Hello,
forward to
everyone.
others also. 2 minutes to go. So I think I would like to also inform you guys, keep the smile on because you guys are being watched. This is going to be a YouTube live as well. So wear your smile throughout the session. We still have 1 more minute before we start the session. Let me again repeat, thank you those who have joined through webcam, and others are requested to switch on their webcam. The last 1 minute to do the final touch up. All right. So really great to see. I think so many people have already joined us, so we can start the session. So a very good evening and a warm welcome on behalf of Spark to all the lovely audience who could make it today in the session and have already taken a step ahead to be a better version of themselves. I am Bini Sharma, your host for this vibrant evening, and we are going to stay together for this transforming journey for the next 1 hour. On the behalf of, okay, I forgot that, I'm carrying my coffee and hope that you're also grabbing the one for you during the session. All right. So on behalf of Spark, I'm very pleased to share with all of you that after the success of the last session of micro habits, which was delivered by a very famous author of the book Small is Big, Ashish Agrawal. Now we are back with the most awaited or the most demanding session on the topic mastering mindset for building habits and consistency. Before I take this forward with today's proceeding, I would talk a little bit more about the Sparkz, especially for those who are joining us here for the very first time. So, Sparkz is a trusted partner for your growth journey. Sparkz platform encourages all of us to build a positive habits and transform our dreams into reality. We also would like to invite all of you to join us and leverage the opportunity to be a better version of ourselves. Uh, for this purpose, we are going to share the link of the Sparkz here on the chat as well and on the WhatsApp group as well. And in case if you have any sort of a query, you can reach to me or you can write down your query to the any of the platform on the chat or on the WhatsApp group. We will come back to you. Without further ado, let me introduce today's speaker, Rasmeet Sachdej. Rasmeet is a mindset and manifestation coach based out of Bangkok, um, who has inspired um, countless individuals to transform their lives. Rasmeet is carrying nearly 18 years of personal experience in manifestation, and she has hosted many workshops and events um, uh, as a mindset and manifestation coach. Uh, Rasmeet has also featured on the various media platforms for her great achievements. With that, let me transfer this platform. Let me transfer this platform to Rasmeet. Rasmeet, once again, a very warm welcome, and we all are really very excited to hear you. So yeah, over to you, Rasmeet.
Thank you so much, Binny, for that lovely welcome. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on your Saturday night. I don't take it lightly. I know this is special time, so I really appreciate it. And it just shows me that, you're ready to take your year and your life in your hands. And I love that. So before I tell you more about myself, I want to just share a story with you. Okay, let me open my screen while I do that. Oops. Let me just share it. Okay, can everyone see that? Yeah, all good?
It's visible, Rasmeet.
Okay, great. So there was once a girl who was very lazy. Okay, she loved to watch TV. She loved to sleep in. She would sleep in sometimes 2, 3 in the afternoon, no problems. She would sleep late at night. TV was her best friend and her only hobby. She was a very lazy person. She was always not in the mood to do anything. Okay. And then she grew up and she got married and then she had a child. The life that she knew no longer existed because that child never slept. She would be up at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, keeping her mom awake. And that change in that person's life has now led me to be who I am today. It was because of my daughter that I have had to incorporate a new lifestyle, which means new habits. If you had known me before my daughter was born, you will be shocked to see me today because that's what my parents say as well. So that's why I love this topic so much. If I can change my habits, then anybody can, because I think I used to be one of the laziest people you would have met. So who am I exactly? I am a mindset and manifestation coach. I have lived in Bangkok. I have lived in Japan. I have lived in Guam. And we moved back to Bangkok around 2 years ago, where I started really taking my coaching business to the next level. I help individuals change their life by understanding their mind and reframing the way they think about things. And this all starts with your mindset. So before we go into what your mindset is and how it affects your life, I want everyone to take one moment and think of one habit you want to create this year so that that can be the habit that you use when we're talking about it. Okay? I'm not sure how I can see the chat as well, but I was hoping to see the chats. Maybe we can, okay, I don't know how to do that. I'm not so good with technology when it comes to that. Okay, no problem.
Maybe for a few seconds you could remove the screen and present again. Trust me, that'll be easier.
Okay. Is that better? Can everyone see? No, I'm not sharing the screen. Okay, so can anyone just put in your chats, just so I have an idea of what is the habit that you are looking to create? Meditation, okay. Anyone else? Patience, okay. Reading, journaling, love that. Punctuality, okay. Yoga, memos, speaking early. Stop worrying. Oh, I like that. Acceptance, okay. Focus, being happy and confident. Okay, just being myself. Okay. Okay, waking up early. Okay. So I think I can easily say that I have had all of these desires as well. And I think other than the writing the memoirs and the focus, I think I've accomplished everything else. So I think I'm pretty okay for being the one to lead this talk today. So let me go back to sharing. So that's the first step. It's understanding what you want to achieve. If we don't write it down, the chances of it happening are very slim. So that's something that I want everyone to start really getting in the habit of doing, writing down your goals and writing down the things that you want to achieve in your life. Okay. So when I Google what is mindset, this is the definition that came up, okay? A mental attitude or inclination. But if you ask me, I think that your mindset is the lens in which you experience the world. It is the foundation of everything that you do and how you respond and react to everything that happens in your life. What you focus on becomes your truth, because we all know that there could be a reality happening, but based on the people's mindset, they view it differently. And that will dictate the kind of feelings that they have and the kind of action that they take. So if you are not happy with how you are experiencing your life, it might be time to reflect, how is your mindset? Where someone sees obstacles, another one sees opportunities. They say like a pessimist can find a problem in every solution, but I am proud to say that I'm an optimist. So I can find a solution in every problem. Your mindset is your attitude, which dictates your behavior. And then based on that behavior, it could be positive or negative, will dictate what kind of action you take and the level of success you reach. Okay. So I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with this, but there are two different kinds of mindsets. There can be various names for them: positive, negative, fixed, growth, but these are the the general ways of thinking about your mindset. One is your fixed and one is growth. So just to go through it, if you have a fixed mindset, we feel like people think that, I'm born like this. That's the way it is, and it's not going to change. Or I'm just going to stick to what I know because I don't want to look like a beginner. I don't want anyone to see that I don't know how to do something. Or even, things are fine the way they are. We don't need to change them. If it's not broken, it doesn't need to be fixed. Another one could be we like to compare ourselves to other people. It's easy for this person to do it. I don't have that life. I don't have those circumstances in my life. I don't have that upbringing, that knowledge, that whatever it may be. We always have all of these things that could keep us stuck. But that's what it does. It just keeps you stuck. And then you see later on that the people that don't grow and change with life are the ones that have the hardest time. So this is why your growth mindset is so important, because in this world, change is the only constant that we have. And in order to be able to change effectively and for that change to not be difficult for you, it is very important to have a growth mindset. Okay, I'm just gonna look at the chats. Okay, so the types of growth mindset is, I want to learn new things. I'm eager to take risks. Is this really my best work? What else can I do to improve? There's always room for improvement. I know this will help me even though it's difficult. For example, doing this talk today, I always say yes to doing everything that I'm asked. Any opportunity that comes my way, I say yes, even though I might not know how to do it. And then I will have a moment of panic before I have to present, where I tell my husband, why do I do these things to myself? Why? Can you hear me now? I can't see everybody.
Yes, you can. You're
Okay.
audible.
Yeah. So I'm always like asking, like, why do I do these things for myself? Why do I put myself in these difficult situations where I'm always nervous, or doing something I've never done before? And my husband asks me, he's like, yeah, why do you do that? And then I say, because I like the way I feel after I've completed it. That is my win. That's how I feel proud of myself. Okay. Just a side note, is the screen being blocked right now if I have these on the sides? Can you still see the full screen? Yeah, okay. Okay, so there are two parts of your mind, which I feel is very important, and it's the backbone of when I do my coaching. I feel like if we don't understand how our mind works, it's very hard to get ahead of it and to use it for our benefit. So today, I'm just going to explain to you in a very simple way so that you can understand why some things are harder and why they take time. Okay? You know how they say it's a battle of your minds. That's exactly what's happening in your mind when you are trying to do something different. So you have something called your prefrontal cortex, and that's the front part of your brain. This is where you set all these goals. This is where you have decided that you want to do better for yourself. This is where you think about your thoughts. Your prefrontal cortex is what makes us humans so smart and intelligent compared to our animals. But then you also have an automatic response, which is the back part of your brain. And this is the guy that keeps you stuck. It doesn't like change. It likes comfort zone. It likes doing what it knows. And that is why you have a battle of two minds, because the front part of the brain knows better and wants to do better, but the back part of the brain just won't let it because it acts faster. It actually takes the front part of your brain, I think it's 10 milliseconds to take an action. But it takes your automatic response less than 1 millisecond to respond. So now, if you have the back part of the brain that likes comfort zone acting faster than the front part of the brain that's trying to make you do better, it's no wonder that the back part of the brain always wins. It's no wonder that your comfort zone always wins. It's just faster. That's the way it was built. And this is why knowing this is so important, so that when you are trying to set habits, you can get ahead of it and do things to keep you in success. So for example, I know people always like to have workout as one of their goals, right? Working out is always a New Year's resolution for some people, getting healthier. But when you're cozy in bed and the aircon is on and it's a Monday morning and you're tired from Sunday night, the last thing you want to do is wake up and go work out, right? And that in that moment is where the back part of the brain wins. It's like, oh, we'll start again tomorrow. We'll try again tomorrow. But if you understand that, hey, if I use the tips that Rasmeet's going to give me soon, I can get smarter and ahead of myself and then use my mind to get me to where I want to be. Okay? So this is what your brain looks like. Every time you have a new thought, I want you to kind of imagine like a light burst. It's going from the front part of the brain to the back part of the brain. And the way they say that practice makes progress is because the more you practice something, the better you get at it. And that's exactly what's happening in your mind. You are forming these neural pathways that build these habits. You know, the first time you're learning how to walk, the child is falling and hitting their heads and falling again, but they don't give up, right? With practice over and over again, they get better. Everything that you know in your life today is because you have practiced it, including those negative habits and including those negative thoughts. You might not know it, but it's something so subtle that happens so easily that those negative thoughts get stronger, whereas the positive ones take more effort and more energy, and that's why it's harder to do. And I think this is part of being human. Our negative thoughts keeps us safe, and that's why we tend to jump to it faster. Okay, if there are any questions, feel free to, put them in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer. So this is something I always ask my clients when they are starting off. Why? Why do you want to build new habits? And why do you have your current habits right now? It's very important to understand your why. If your why is not strong enough, your excuses will be stronger. If someone wants to have a habit of journaling every day, right? This is a very different lifestyle change because it's not something we normally do. We don't know how to start journaling. We don't know what to write. It's really taking us out of our day-to-day life and doing something different. But if you ask yourself, why? Why do I want to build this habit? There's many benefits of journaling. I am a huge advocate of journaling. So it would be to get my, the dirt in my head out on paper so it doesn't affect my body. Is to gain self-awareness of what's going on. It's to learn who I am. It's to reflect on the direction my life is taking. There's so many different reasons to journal. But then if you ask yourself, why have you not done it yet? That could be, I'm scared to know what's happening in my mind. I'm scared people actually tell me my mind is a very scary place. If I put it on paper, I might be terrified. It's too confronting to see. So then you have a bit more awareness, and then you can come with it with more compassion of why it's so hard to change your habits. It's because it might not be a good place and you're trying to get better. But being gentle and having compassion with yourself when you're changing habits is the most important way. You can't scold yourself into changing yourself. It never works that way. Okay, that's, I think, one of the biggest things that we have to realize. So everything comes down to your thoughts. Every action that you take comes down to your thoughts. So we have something called circumstances. These are things that happen in our life, other people's behaviors, things that are out of our control. How we decide to think about them will dictate our results. Because based on your mindset, if you have a positive mindset or you have a negative mindset, those will create your feelings that you have. And then based on those feelings, you will take action or you will not take action. Okay, I'm going to go through an example. If you want to start working out, but your thoughts are, it's too hard, you feel unmotivated, you're scared, and then you tend to find excuses. Oh, I don't have the right equipment. I don't have the right trainer. I'm too embarrassed to go to the gym. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. We are great at making excuses, and that action keeps us stuck. Okay? How do we change that? We try to think of new thoughts. So this is what a fixed mindset would think. I failed once before, so I'll fail again. It's too hard. I'm not cut out for this. I need to be perfect or it's not worth doing. Other people find this easy. There's something wrong with me. This is my favorite. I missed today, so I might as well just stop. There's no point. I've already lost my momentum. Or I don't know where or how to start. These are all thoughts a fixed mindset would have. But how do we change them? It's as simple as trying to come up with new thoughts. Okay? So I did an exact opposite. So if I failed once, I'll fail again. I try to change that to a more positive thought, whereas failure shows me what to try next. It's trying to teach me something. This is too hard. I'm not cut out for this. Versus I will improve with persistence. The more I practice, the better I will get. I need to be perfect or it's not worth doing. This is something that really I remind myself all the time because I compare myself to a lot of people when I see their success. And I have to remind myself that everyone had a day one. It just because I'm not good today doesn't mean I will not get better, but I have to start today to get better. And that helps me deal with being a beginner. It helps me deal with my own negative self-talk, and it helps me remind myself that I'm not seeing their beginning, I'm only seeing mine. Okay? So these are ways that you can switch from a negative thought process or a fixed mindset to a more growth mindset, which allows you to have better habits. Even if you miss one day, it doesn't minus all the progress that you have made in the past. So if you have these thoughts, I want to show you how these thoughts will affect your action. So if you think that everyone starts somewhere, your feelings start to change compared to I failed once, so I'll fail again, right? Or it's too hard. You feel unmotivated. If you have a positive thought, you will have more positive feelings. And that's the way your mind works. This can work for anything in your life, by the way. You feel hopeful, you feel motivated. You can also feel curious, like, I wonder how many more days I can do this for. You start challenging yourself, and then you make it fun for yourself. And then you
I have a
find,
question.
yes, yes,
Hi.
hi.
See, hi. These are all the things that you are sharing at the moment. Like
Mhm,
everyone starts somewhere. So these are all once you have moved from the fixed mindset to a growth mindset,
mhm,
these are the repercussions of it, correct?
mhm,
These are
mhm,
more of the implications but somebody who is already in his fixed mindset for a
mhm,
long amount of time,
mhm,
it requires a herculean effort from converting that mindset to a growth mindset, correct? Because somebody has lived their life in that way,
mhm,
either because of the environmental conditions, first thing,
mhm,
either because of the surroundings that he or she has had been into. So I mean, what I would like to understand here would be
mhm.
how that fixed mindset, which has been persisting for a long amount of time, gets to convert into a growth mindset so that these things happen.
Habits can come.
So,
Great
I mean,
question. Yeah.
that should be the first thing that should be explained.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I talked about it here where, let me go back. So this is how your mindset works, right? This is how your thoughts work, okay? Yes, when you have a fixed mindset, it takes a lot of effort to have a growth mindset. So the first thing is going back to your why. Why is it important for you to want to make this change? Okay. When you understand that, okay, your fixed mindset is not helping you anymore and you want change, then you will be more willing to take the actions for change. It's not going to come right away, but that's the first step of taking that direction. Your brain, I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with this, but it's called neuroplasticity. And what it means is you can actually learn new habits and learn new thoughts with time. You know, for example, if you are driving on a dirt road and you've driven for the first time, you're going to drive very slow because you don't know what kind of road to expect, right? You drive very slow, you hit bumps here and there. The second day, when you go back on that road, sometimes you might question, do I really want to do that to myself? But if that destination is on the other end, it becomes a stronger why. So then you go on that road again, and then again and again and again. And then with time, that path becomes easier to drive on. And it's the same thing with your mind. So what I tell my clients to do is I get these flashcards and I have people write down the new thoughts that they want to think. It doesn't mean that they think it already, but it's what we want to think. Okay. So, for example, if the thought is, I'm going to keep trying no matter how hard, you take out a flashcard and you write that thought. And you read these flashcards as much as possible. It's just to build that neural pathway over and over again. It's the same thing when you're learning a new instrument, when you're learning a new dance, when you're learning a new song. Everything that you do with practice does work. And that is why the power of it. If you practice a new language 3 times and then you stop, it's not going to work. The same thing is with your thoughts. If you want to practice a new thought so that that can become your reality, you have to practice this intentionally every day. And this is something that I will talk about in the steps as well. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, kind of. But what I understood is like it has to be a self-induced one. No, I mean there is a process. Like the process, I'm sure you must be like extremely good at the flashcards, and I'm sure like people follow this and they get to write certain things which they from the as is position they want to go to the to be position, right? So they write those things on the flashcards, and possibly this will kind of manifest, and they'll the changes get induced in them slowly and steadily.
Mhm.
But somebody who has lived in that mindset for so long,
Mhm.
it's so difficult for them to come out of it and move towards take that one step is important, I
Right.
think. Yeah, so there I think you must be helpful in kind of taking that particular step, and so that people can go forward,
Yeah.
right?
So I think that it is,
Here,
but you're
here
right.
I would like to say something. Hello, my name is
Yeah, yeah,
Sonali. The main thing here is self-awareness. If
yeah.
we are not self-aware about our thoughts, then we cannot we cannot move forward. So
Mm-hmm.
self-awareness is the main thing here, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. And that is why, I'm a huge advocate on writing down your thoughts so that you have awareness of what's going on in your mind. That's the first step. You know, if this is a how you're saying the person has a fixed mindset, if it is somebody else, I think it's very hard to change other people. This is what we have to accept is we can only change ourselves. We can only do better for ourselves. And all we can do is inspire other people with our action. That's all we can do. And that's the best that we can do. Trust me, as a coach, I have a lot of people that come to me, can you talk to my husband? Can you talk to my mom? And I'm like, I'm sorry, they have to want to change in order to change. But the best thing that you can do is be their inspiration for change. And I have seen it in my life and I've seen it in my clients' life where someone is very negative or someone is very has very lazy habits. I'm even going to share a story. It's in my last slide, but I'll share it with you now. I have a client whose wife signed him up because he needed a lifestyle change. His routine was very bad. He would sleep late because of work, wake up late, do everything late. And then he got a health scare. He had to do a triple bypass. He's already 40. And he has 2 young kids, and his wife signed him up because she was like, something needs to change. It's taken me, he's already done 2 packages with me because the first one was just him trying to understand what do I do and how can I help because he was so resistant. The second time he got more comfortable with me, he started opening up to me more, and then he started trusting me more. I'm so happy to share that through our work together, it's not an overnight thing, but through reason, logic, science, and understanding, he was able to see that the benefits of waking up early, all his family members are all waking up early. It's for his benefit. And his wife sent me a photo of him in the park at 7 a.m. with his son, you know? So, as hard as it may seem, as hard as it may feel, everyone has a day one. And if you make that day one into day two, into day three, and you're just consistent with it, it is just a matter of science that, the more you sharpen that stone, it does get soft. It's just about, okay, how much do you
Right.
want to do this?
Right. So that is more of a CBT and an NLP things, that possibly neuro-linguistic programming and
Yeah.
cognitive behavioral therapy
Yes.
that you
Yes.
must be going through. I mean,
Yeah.
all right, understand.
Yeah. But I think acceptance that if you have a fixed mindset, it's their loss and that's their journey. And all we can do is inspire and pray for them and maybe manifest for them. But end of the day, I have been inspiration for change in people around my life, so I know the power of one person is huge.
All right.
Okay? All right, thank you for your question. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back. So here, I was just gonna say how all of your thoughts affects your feelings and your feelings affects your action. And these are the only things that you can control. You cannot control the circumstances of other people's behaviors. You cannot control what's happening in the world. You can only control your own thoughts. And that's where your superpower is. So what are some tips and tricks for success? First, like I mentioned, was to write it down. Writing it down is 42% higher achievement possibilities. You know, it's also writing it down. What it does is it engages your brain with your hand to look and engage all of your senses to make this more of a habit real. No matter what you want to do, if you write it down, the chances of it happening are much higher. Have you guys watched Shark Tank? Damon Johnson, I think his name is. You guys familiar with him? He said something. He said that he writes his goals down and he puts it by his bedside. And every night and every morning he reads it, and that he like almost achieves all of his goals just with that one act. It seems like a very simple thing to do, but what you're doing is you're reprogramming your mind, and that is the beginning of it. So I decided that I was going to do the same thing. I wrote down 15 flashcards, and every day I would just read it. It was basic sentences of what I was trying to manifest and the mindset that I needed to have, even though what I had written was very far from my actual reality. After, I think, 6 to 8 months, out of 15 of those flashcards, 11 of them came true. Just with the practice of me reading it and then my reticular activating system being active to seeing opportunities to have it. So writing it down is number one. If everyone can take a moment and actually write down on a piece of paper or anywhere near you, what is that habit that you want to create for this year? And stick it up somewhere so that you can see it every day as a reminder, like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. Oh yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay. Next, again, is figuring out why. Why is this identity important for you to have? When you're creating habits, it is an identity shift. We want to be someone that is healthy. We want to be someone that is calm because of the yoga. You want someone that is at peace because of meditation, not easily irritated or responsive to things. These are personality traits we want to have. And these are habits that we have to create. So we have to understand, why is it so important? I was someone that wanted to be an early riser that got a lot of things done because I had a lot of many goals. And that is why I had to wake up early in the day to achieve those goals. Next is to start small and to be specific. Don't overwhelm yourself with your goals, okay? So instead of saying I'll exercise daily, even if you can't do it daily, at least you can do stretching for 5 minutes. At least your body is getting in the habit of doing it, okay? What I always recommend people to do is to add it to their pre-existing routine because it gets easier to do. When you're brushing your teeth, you do your gratitude list. When you are driving your car, you listen to an audiobook so that you can get more books in. When you are at night, when you're brushing your teeth at night, you put your gym clothes in the bathroom so that when you wake up, it's already there, ready for you to take the next step. If you make things easy and in your existing routine, it's a lot easier to see it through. This is Mel Robbins' method that I love and I use all the time because everyone has these moments of hesitation and laziness. I think it's human nature. We want to be comfortable. So the other day, I told myself I'm going to go walk in the park. It's something I do regularly, but it's still, because of New Year's, I hadn't done it in a while and I was going back to old routine. I always go at 7 a.m., but it was already 8 and I was getting lazy. And I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to go today. And then I remembered Mel Robbins' 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, where she talks about imagining yourself as a rocket. You lay down and wherever you're sitting, you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you imagine yourself as a rocket and force yourself to get up. I use this technique all the time, and I even have clients that use it, and it's very effective because you're giving yourself momentum to start taking action. Focus on consistency over perfection. This is something that, people do New Year's resolution, they go all in, they want to make all these changes, and then it gets overwhelming, and then everything falls through. So pick one thing and try to do that one thing well. Don't overwhelm yourself and don't make that one thing extremely hard if you're not very good at being consistent. This is something also we do not really do, celebrating your small wins. Depending on your relationship with yourself, that will determine how easy it is for you to build habits. If you have a good relationship with yourself, if you follow through on what you say you're going to do, if you have integrity with yourself, it's easier to take action. But if you're trying to build that, then it would be to start celebrating your small wins. Whatever it may be, it's still big for you. You can celebrate it in your own way so that no one else needs to know. But it's those small things that build muscle memory that help you do it more often because it felt so good when you were doing it. This is also something what this community is all about, right? Having an accountability buddy, having a trainer, having a coach, having a friend, anyone that you are answerable to that will help you get to that next level because you kind of bump off each other to get to that good habits. And what we need to remember is practice is key. We cannot achieve anything without practicing. You can't learn a new dance without practicing. You can't learn a new language without practicing. You can't speak, you can't talk to people, you can't pour a glass of water. Everything that you know in your life today is due to practice, which is good because everything you want to learn in your life moving forward can also be done with practice. And that's good news. You've done so much until up today that moving forward, you can do it as well. When you set a habit, it's really important to understand why you want it and what kind of person you want to be. You might not be there yet, but taking those steps slowly every day is a new day, building that momentum is what will get you there. I talk to a lot of people and I coach a lot of people and I read a lot of successful stories. And it's really consistency over talent. It's making sure you show up consistently. Even if you cannot give it your 100% every time, give it 20, give it 50, but give it at least 1 so that that neural pathway can get stronger and stronger each day and that habit becomes stronger with time. You will not see it right away, but you will see it with time. So this was the client story that I was going to share. I'm happy to say that he does work out in the morning, and even though he's trying to fix his routine, it's getting a lot better. Okay, so is there any questions that I missed? I'm gonna,
Rasmeet, we have a couple of questions. I think
Okay.
by end of the session, we can take all those questions because I also
Okay.
have some questions in advance.
Okay,
So
sure.
happy
Can
to-
I just add this then?
Yeah.
I'm always trying to build more followers and stuff. So if you liked anything or you wanted to chat further, please feel free to add me on Instagram. And I also have a WhatsApp message that I send every morning, Monday to Friday. It's kind of like a morning inspiration just to help keep our minds on track on how to be more positive, how to have more control of our life, things like that. So you can subscribe to that as well. You can text me on WhatsApp, letting me know that you would like to be a part of that daily list. Okay? Should I keep that up or we're good?
I think people can take also the photograph of the same.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll
And we
close.
will also put it on the group. That's okay.
Sure, sure.
I have put the snip on the chat box also.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay,
Ashish.
perfect. Yeah.
All right. Yes, Rasmeet, we have a couple of questions. I think I'll just read one by one for you. Maybe one first I read, which is flashing here.
Mhm.
This one is from Deepthi. Deepthi is writing, I'm focused on achieving the following, but with so many tasks to complete, I struggle with
Mhm.
mastering the ability to silence distractions and manage my thoughts and emotions to stay laser focused on my goal?
Okay. So I think that is, if you're struggling with that, I would always suggest to keep it simple first. If you can't do everything at once, start small, because then it does get overwhelming. And the way your mind works is if it feels like it can't do it, it just backs off and it doesn't want to do anything. Okay, so I think that would be the first step. Try to keep it small. If you have a lot of tasks to complete and you have a hard time with your distractions, first of all, journal your thoughts down so that at least your mind can clear out all that mess, and then clear your space, make your space help you and help you thrive, and put timers. You know, the Pomodoro effect, I think that's what it's called. It's like where every 20 minutes you come back after doing a task. There's so many tasks, so many habit building tools there are online. But I would say the biggest distraction is our mind. So if you can journal and write down your thoughts, that is very helpful because that takes away all the anxiety, that takes away all the stress. And I am a very big person on calendars. I'm trying to find my calendar, it's somewhere here. But what I do is I write down everything that I need to do. I input it in my calendar, and therefore I know that it's on my calendar. It's going to be taken care of at another time. I don't need to worry about it right now. And this is something that really helps me because I tend to get anxious when I have a lot of things to do. Does that help? Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Your insights are helpful.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Rasmeet. Another question which I have received in advance. It's basically similar what Dikshita has also put across here. So I just clubbed both these questions. How can I stop indulging myself in self-negative talk or, overcome from the negative thought process?
Okay. Negative thought process. I think I'm queen of negative thought process. I have a lot of negative self-talk. And it unfortunately comes from our upbringing and how we were raised. You know, we absorb a lot of information and we make that our identity. So after a certain age, it becomes our responsibility to have control over our life and our mind. We cannot give that responsibility to anybody else. This is where coaching has really helped me. When I have a lot of negative self-talk, I understand that my thoughts don't make me. They're just 1 in 60,000 that I have that day. That helps put things in perspective. And everyone has good and bad thoughts. So how can you deal with it is, first of all, for every negative talk that you have, I would say to counter with 3 positive ones. And I do this as well. Everything, if I have fear about something, I write down all of my fears, and then I will think of a positive thought, 3 of them, because it takes that 3 times as much energy to be positive than it is to be negative. And you can even use AI to help you come up with new positive thoughts. Like, this is what I'm thinking now. How can I think better? You know, you can hire a coach, you can talk to a friend, you can read some books. There's a lot of resources out there. You can message me as well if you still want more information about this. But that would be my biggest thing. That's also how I have helped myself. Something else that I have helped myself is I tend to forget the good and the positive impact that I've had. I tend to focus on the bad stuff. So I have a Word document where I have listed all of my accomplishments, all the things I do well. Every time the negative talk gets too loud, I open that document and I remind myself, oh, you know what? It's not as bad as I think it is. We always have that spotlight on ourselves where we think that, the world is thinking this about us and all of these negative thoughts are true. But when you have perspective, you realize that that is just not true, and you have so many wonderful things to offer. Does that answer your question?
Hope this answered your questions.
It does.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Okay, with that, moving ahead, Sanchita is asking how to overcome persistent habit of procrastination.
So procrastination, if you dive deep, it's a self-sabotaging behavior. Okay. We are worried of achieving that result, and therefore we procrastinate. It's a little bit more deeper than being able to talk about it right now. But again, going back to having that awareness of why you are this way, what is the fear related to completing these tasks, and making new affirmations, I guess, in your life. I know someone that's a very big procrastinator who's always telling me, I'll just do it later. I'll just do it later. I'll just do it later. That's their favorite thing to say. And now I've made him promise me that his new word of the year is going to be now. Every time he'll say it first, I'll do it later. And then I'll remind him, no, 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 now, now, now. And it seems simple, but the power of practice will change your entire life. Okay, there's a lot of science in neuroplasticity. When you research it, you will understand. I can go deeper in it as well. But it's like the more energy you give the new thought, the less energy the negative and old thoughts have, and eventually they fall off and the new one persists. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much, Rashmi.
Okay.
Okay, another one which I've received in advance. What technique do you recommend for staying in present and managing the stress in daily life?
Okay, so this is something I have incorporated in the last year, and that I would say is breathing techniques. You know, our culture has all of this information already. We already know why meditation is good. We already know why breathing is good. We already know why yoga, all these things have so many benefits. We're so lucky that it is so deep-rooted in our culture, and science is now only catching up. But if you understand why the breathing works, it's because it's the battle of your two minds. Your front part of the brain is trying to do all these things, and the back part of the brain is resisting. But when you breathe, it allows yourself to align yourself and to wake up the front part of the brain so that that part can take charge. So whenever I'm stressed, whenever I'm nervous, whenever I've got a lot going on, I try to listen to something calming, and I do something called the 4-7-8 technique, where you inhale for 4 counts, you hold it in your body for 7 counts, and then you exhale for 8 counts. And what that does is when you have extra oxygen in your body, it calms your body down and tells you like, okay, there's nothing to be worried about because we have a lot of oxygen. It means that we are safe. Okay, it's learning these things to get ahead of your mind so you can manipulate it the right way, not have it derail your life the wrong way.
Okay, thank you, Rasmeet, and hope this answers to the query the
Yeah.
person has given me in
Yeah,
advance.
Benny, I had a similar question on prefrontal and then the automatic response system. Can I ask?
Yes,
Yeah,
please,
yeah.
Chitranga. I was about to put the
Yeah.
second question for you. Yeah, please
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, so Rasmeet, I've heard about, this context where like I've read about it also, amygdala, and then, your front part of your brain, and then like your automatic response system. So
Mm-hmm.
I often feel like we also a lot of times say, and we've heard about it, that listen to your instincts, listen to your gut, what is coming
Mm.
naturally. So is
Mm.
that, if we say we're listening to that, isn't that listening to the auto
Mm.
response
Exactly.
system of,
Yes.
yeah.
So the way I think about it is, I have trained my gut to be the version of me that I want it to be, not based on the past me. If your gut is so strong and you don't have that much self-awareness and you're not very good at seeing your thoughts play out into life, then your gut is going to keep you in your comfort zone. But if you have that, if you've taken the time to work on yourself and you see that awareness and you see like, with experience that that gut is actually leading you to good things and you are happy with those results, then that would be the gut to follow. Does that make sense?
Okay, it does. So basically,
Yeah.
I think you need to make your gut and instincts also stronger if you work on the version you want to be and on building,
Yeah.
the habits.
Make sure your gut is leading you the right way, not keeping you stuck into old habits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Khushbu, I think on the positive self-talk, I think Rasmeet has already spoken. So I think hope that answer is suffice. If you have any other questions, let us know.
No,
Khushbu, are you
ma'am,
there?
it's good.
Is it
Yes,
suffice?
ma'am. Yeah,
All
ma'am,
right,
it is suffice.
great. The next question is from Ajay Mehra. This talk has simplified in an orderly way. I'm engaged with changing my habits and things to do. Oh, sorry, that's a compliment. So thank you, Ajay sir.
I think there's another one. A lot of times when we try to adopt new
Yeah,
habits or
yeah,
change old
please.
patterns, we're held back by the fear of losing something in the process. How can we move past these fears and focus on positive change we're making without getting overwhelmed by what we might lose in the way? I guess I would have to ask what you are losing in the way. is that what you want? Is that benefiting you? Or is that what we are taught to people please around us? I think that would be what we need to clarify a bit on. Because if positive change is helping you become the person that you want to be, I think I personally don't see where there would be a loss there. It's helping you thrive into being the better version of yourself. I don't know what kind of loss would come from that, unless it's having to put up boundaries in our life or taking the time for ourselves or, having uncomfortable conversations where that is the loss that we have. If that doesn't answer your question, can you please clarify more, or you want to speak up so that I can make sure I understand?
Ritika, does that answer your question?
Ritika,
Ritika, are you there?
there?
Okay.
Okay, no problem.
I think there is some maybe
Yeah.
a network problem, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. We have next question from Ajay Mehra.
See, I'm
Which
so
part of our brain
hey,
distinguish
hey, I'm so sorry to
between yeah.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Actually, this question from Ritika is actually extremely good question. So
Mm.
I would like to elaborate on the question as to what
Mm.
I understood it.
Okay.
Now, supposedly, I have to improve on certain things. Let's take me as an example, just like
Okay.
a hypothetical one.
Mrinal, may I
If I
request
have to,
pause just a second and with a request to everybody to turn on their camera so we can take a few pictures and back to you, Mrinal, for your question. Sorry for
all
the
right,
interruption.
no problem, no problem. So, see, if I have to improve on certain things, there are so many things that you have to leave behind. See, currently, just for an example, I stay at a certain place in Gurgaon. I could have easily, I am currently working from home, work from anywhere. I could have easily stayed with my parents, but I want to see them age. I want to see each and every part of them age, so that at the point of time when I was pretty young, they were there. So I want to
Okay.
be there. I was there, but
Mm-hmm.
certainly there are certain things which I want to improve upon. Certainly there are certain things from the perspective of my career and
Mm-hmm.
things I have to improve. So, see, I got an opportunity in 2022 for Spain. I could have been there for 3 years, and it was a long term opportunity, but I somehow missed it just because I don't I actually did not wanted to go away from my parents.
Mm.
So in this case, what she's asking is that many a times good habits or something that you want to achieve may leave behind a lot of things which you don't want actually to be left behind.
Mm. Mm.
So, in that scenario, what should be the state of mind? What should be the thought process as to keep
Mm.
yourself first, or to keep people whom you have a huge sense of gratitude?
Right, right. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I can understand that. Everyone has their own journey, what they think they should do, right? Everyone has their own priorities of what they value and everything. As a coach and as a person myself, I have the same culture. I understand the same sentiments behind taking care of family and all that.
Right.
But I also know that if you don't do what is in your heart to do, resentment builds up. And that resentment can affect your relationship later on. It can affect not just your relationship, it can affect your health. I can give you my own example. I have moved from Guam around 2 years ago, and my family was there, my in laws were there, and we had to leave because it was a time of my life where I just needed a change in my life. There was no opportunity calling me here to Bangkok, but it was a calling from inside that something needs to change, or I will go through depression. I will not be the mom that I need to be for my kids, and they are my number one responsibility. I will not be able to help anybody else if I'm not okay. And we had taken a very personal, very difficult move to come here, where my in-laws were not able to join us. And that guilt is always there. Did you think of yourself first? Are you being selfish? Why didn't you stay there for them? Who's going to help them? But I can also say that if I didn't take this move, there would be a depressed person there, not able to help anybody else. And there would be a lot of resentment. It would affect all of my relationships, including my husband, my kids. So, as they always say, right, when you're in an airplane, you put your own air mask first before you can help others. To be of service to other people, you have to take care of yourself. And there is always a way that you can do both. I'm happy to say that after 2 years, my in-laws have moved here. I am able to set up this place where they feel, okay, they can come as well, and they are now settling in a place that's better for them, you know? So I think that in order to get what's better for us, yes, we do have to leave some things. And I'm a firm believer, I have a lot of faith. So I always believe that the next step that I take is going to be the best one. This desire wouldn't be so strong if it wasn't the best thing for everybody. Does that
Ex-
answer the
um,
question?
appreciate the answer, actually.
Okay. Okay.
But we are in a mentality, the
Yeah.
kind of Indian mentality is such. What
Yeah.
happens is like we are people who are emotional people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We want to take everybody together. If I want to achieve something, if
Yes.
I'm at the zenith of something, I want everybody should be there. It's not that the happiness that I should have and that's it, I have achieved something. It should
Absolutely.
be celebrated with everybody. So
Absolutely.
that is the kind of a thought process we Indians are brought up with.
Yeah.
Many a times I am not considering that the West is not right or
Yeah.
something of
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sort, but West comes with a different
It's
opinion
different
altogether.
for sure.
Yeah, because they are like me first and rest comes after.
Yeah.
So whatever
But
happens. So
I also think that there is enough science, especially for our Indian culture, especially being an Indian woman with an Indian family background. Um, when we don't take care of ourselves first, a lot of health issues do come up. We don't realize it, but the resentment, the fear, the pain, the guilt, the unhappiness, it does affect our body. And then within 5, 10 years, we are struggling with our own health issues. We're not able to help anybody. So for us to bring everybody to that happiness, we have to go first. So to make sure that place is a happy place for everybody, and then we can bring everybody along on that journey.
all right, thank you. I hope I help
Yeah,
Ritika
I hope that helped as well.
elaborate. Thank you.
Well,
Hello, am I
good enough
audible
for-
now?
Yes,
Yes.
Ritika, you're audible.
Yes, I lost the network. I'm so sorry. Okay, so thanks, Meenal. I think you have rightly put that. And okay, so the fear which I was talking about, Rasmeet, maybe, for example, sometimes I feel that I need to leave my current job and switch
Hmm.
to somewhere else,
Hmm.
about which I have no idea about how it will
Mm-hmm.
going to be. So I manifest that I may get a new job, but at the same time, I feel I'm scared and have fear that I might lose my comfort zone.
Of
So
course.
that is the fear which I was talking about. I manifest that, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, I'm scared also.
Right, right.
Yeah,
I think, that's very understandable. That's part of being human. I've helped quite a few people with that transition as well. That's why it's called transition, right? So
yeah.
I wouldn't recommend just jumping off a cliff and hoping to fly. I think in today's age, you have to be very smart when you take these kind of things. So I would always recommend secure yourself first so that your comfort zone is a little bit more at ease when you're taking the new challenge. You know, like
Mhm,
do things slowly.
mhm,
I've helped someone change careers, go from a corporate job to
mhm,
opening their own company, but they did it in such a way in their own time frame where they were able to save up a year and a half's worth of income so
mhm.
that the business had enough time to start and
Yeah,
to boom. It's all about being practical about it, being smart
yes.
about it.
Mhm,
I never recommend being foolish, because life's too precious. We have too many responsibilities. So comfort zone is great if you want to stay there forever. But if you
yeah.
want to experience a more beautiful life, if you want to achieve your purpose in life, if you want to
Mhm,
find out what you were really made for, then you
mhm.
have to leave that comfort zone because nothing happens there.
Yeah, I think that's right. Thank you. Thank you for
Okay.
motivating me.
Thank you, Rasmeet. And I think, sorry to interrupt you here, because with the paucity of time, we need to
Yeah.
wrap up our session as well. Yes, we do have some more questions, and I think we will post the answers on the WhatsApp chat group
Yes.
for the benefit of the for everyone. I think thank you so much, Rasmeet.
Yeah.
The session is really insightful, and I think all the hacks which you have shared, I'm definitely going to use in my life, and I'm
Okay.
sure that others are also get benefited with the same, and you are also going to use the same. So before we wrap up the session, I would just transfer this platform to Ashish to say the closing words. Who
Did
is
we get a
the
photo, everybody? I would love to have that photo as well.
So
yes?
firstly, the organizing team is already spotlighted Rasmeet, so we can have all the heart emojis up and take a quick
Okay.
photo, and then we'll request all the audience as well. We are coming to you also in just a bit. Right now, what on the screen spotlighted is our organizing team. A big thank you to Binny, to Rasmeet for this lovely, lovely session. We hope it doesn't end, but as they say, all good things in life have to come to an end as well. And today we are ending this session on this happy note. But as I said, we are coming to the picture for everybody as well. Sharad, could you help me take one picture as well? It's not coming so good for me.
Sure, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Yeah, few more heart emojis. Keep it up so that when Sharad is taking, the hearts are really shining.
How do you do that? I don't even know how to do that. I'm so bad with technology.
Yeah,
Just
no
press on
worries,
heart
Rasmeet.
emoji,
Yeah,
that's it.
the
Okay.
session itself from your side was hard. So as long
Oh.
as our hearts are visible to you, that would be good enough.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
I think on that note, let's turn on the entire gallery and have the entire audience in. Guys, please put your heart on. There is a form already in the links in the chat box. Please express yourself there. We will compile all that and send it to Rasmeet as a token of our love and gratitude. Let's not miss that good opportunity. We'll also put the form in the WhatsApp chat so you don't miss out that. Let's put the heart emojis up, and likewise we'll request Sharad to take a nice image. A big thank you, Rasmeet. Very, very
Thank you so much.
rightly timed session from a New
Thank you.
Year standpoint, and such lovely inputs. Surely, whenever now I'm going to do something, I'm going to catch hold of my back brain and say, "Hey, slow down, guy. Hey, slow, 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 slow." The front one is taking charge. So hopefully that helps, and we are able to have a great year. The entire audience is hopefully able to have a great year. Wishing a very, very happy new year all of you. As you all might know, the Sparkz is a volunteering thing. It's not going to cost any time anybody. It's not that we are arranging first and then sometime a bill will come. There is no bill. Only it takes is your positive energy. So feel free to join. Of course, the link will be sent in the chat group. Yeah, Sharad, we are good with the pictures.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rasmeet.
Thank you
It
so
was
much,
really,
Rasmeet.
really a great
Thank you,
session.
everyone.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Lakshmi.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much,
Bye.
guys.
Yeah, thank you to all the audience for making it so engaging. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Thank you, Rashmi. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll request Sharad and Rasmeet and Binny to stay back, and for a special gratitude in person or in a smaller group. Rasmeet, really, really indebted to you. I think the inputs were really sharp. In a very
Yeah.
short time, you explained quite a few. You repeated a few elements which we knew, and you
Mm.
introduced some of the new element, and especially I
Okay.
think the way on the brain structure, I
Mhm.
haven't read it so clearly and so lucidly earlier. So I think that
Okay.
was very special for us, and
Okay, great.
the overall the way you summarized it was very good. I have received a lot of positive comments on the sidelines as well. We'll
Okay,
compile
great.
all of them together and really send it to you as well so that you can keep it for your records.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Yeah, Binny, thank you so much. You were
Thank
amazing as
you.
a host,
Yeah.
and yeah, and thank you to Sharath for supporting, despite he was scheduled to go somewhere, but he still managed to stay and support all of us.
Thanks to you, Ashish sir, as well, to creating this
Yes.
spark and basically, helping me to get this idea to reach to Rasmeet. And Rasmeet, thank you very much
No, my
to
pleasure.
say yes. I think it's just the first time when I reach you. There's always a yes. So thank you
Yeah.
so much.
I say yes, but I think later.
Exactly. It was yes. I'll understand things later. It is
Yeah,
yes. It was
yeah.
like so positive energy from your side.
Oh,
So
thank you.
thank you so much. I think we had I think 4 5 people who has joined out of India also in this session.
Yeah, I had some people. I also shared in my WhatsApp, and then a few people joined as well.
Yeah, from Bangkok. Yeah, that
Yeah.
Poonam and Rasmeet from Bangkok,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I don't know if the others also, but they were asking for the link. Maybe they'll get the copy or something like that.
So this is going to be on YouTube, so we will compile
Okay.
it and of course share it with you. Also,
Okay.
we'll post it on Instagram and create some more engagement about it because
Okay.
of course this asset which we have now, we leverage it and utilize it throughout to help people. And also maybe sometime later in a few months from now, we'll again invite you to share some of the experiences which we have had and take some further input from you.
Okay, sure.
Loved
All
being with
right,
you.
great.
All right, have a lovely night.
Thank
Thank
you.
Yeah.
you.
Bye bye. Good night.
Bye.
Have a good night, Rasmi. Thank you. Bye.